Good day YouTube. Today is what I would like to call a repurposing day. I made so many stuff over the past months that we wanted to use for certain things, and now my wife wanted another one, namely one for her knitting pins. The knitting pins are these things of various thickness with thread in the end where you can screw on a wire connecting to the other side, and that's apparently a very nice way of knitting. She has a whole collection of them. As you can see, this is not nearly everything, but she wanted to have a box for that. Now, as you can see, we have a box. But this is what I made for her a while ago as a pill box. So she also has diabetes, so she has to take medication daily. And this was the box that I made for her to keep her tablets and everything. If you use this for knitting pins, we have to use something else. So then we have this one. You may remember that from an earlier video as well. This is the remote control storage, and we tried it, and it's actually usable for the pills. It only needs a lid. So the remote controls are going to be stored in yet another box, but the task for today is to make a lid for this, so that she can put her pills in there. We talked about it for a bit, and we think the nicest solution, or the best looking solution, would be if we use the same wood for both. So I have this chunk of alder from the recycling center, of course, and it's the same as what this one was made of. So I'm going to try and make a lid out of that one. Yeah, when looking at the wood, I think I'm going to cut this piece in half, like so, and then make the lid out of the top section. Here's a bit of a burl like thing, that's where the handle is going to be. This side has a bit of punkiness to it, so I'll probably cut that off in order to square it off, and if I have it like this then the diameter will be big enough to fit over the box, because this one is, well, yeah, it's just about as deep as the other one, as you can see, or as high. Maybe it has a slightly thicker bottom, I don't know. But anyway, in order to fit its purpose, the lid needs to fit over the box, so it will slightly bulge out from the ridge of the box. I think so I want to try and make the lid fit somewhere above the black line. So that's today's project. Let's see if I can make a better lid than last time. I'm ready to start. I've cut the piece to size with the chainsaw. Cut off the corners a bit with a hacksaw. It's going to go on the spur drive. This side is going to be the where the lid fits, so the fitting side, and that means I'll have to make a tenon on the other side first, so that I can reverse it and hold it properly, remember, and then make it a perfect fit for the box that it has to go on. have to rearrange my camera. Whoa. So 50 millimeters one side of the caliper at the center, the other one is the radius. So I'm putting that on the flat surface and then rotating. Now I'll measure the circle just to be sure. It says 106, so if I would make it like this, it would already be too big. So I'll have to put a second circle a bit further to the inside. Let's measure that one. That's better, 98. We have to be at 103, so I'll take my parting tool, make a cut at 98, and then we see how we go from there. Hit a bad spot in the wood. Looks like this hole is going all the way through. Let's see how we deal with that. No. It goes on smoothly, but it doesn't have any play at all. So if it wants to, it can still warp a little. I don't think it will. It's pretty dry wood, but you never know. So that's that part is done. So I've made up my mind. I'm going to try and salvage this. Anybody who works with resin would probably use that to fill a gap like this. I'm not doing a resin. For the sake of the environment, so I'll use duct tape to close off the inside, and then I'll fill it first with fine sawdust, and then it's a bit much already perhaps, and then I'll use ordinary wood glue, and then more shavings. Obviously this takes way longer to dry, but wood glue gives you much less stains than CA. So the outside is looking good. Here I'll do a bit of wood glue first and then use the fine shavings to press it in. Now I'll put some duct tape on the outside as well, and then I'll revisit the inside, see if it needs a bit more gluing up. I think this side here does. So now I'm going to take this out of the jaws and set it aside to dry. It is the other day and the wood glue has dried very nicely. Both holes are plugged now, but of course it is now very much uneven, so I need to take another pass with a tool to make it smooth again, at least the inside, and then we will have another go with a jam chuck, but this time it's planned. And we'll finish the outside. I think I'm going to take one pass as it is to take off the most of the roughness, and then the detail turning of the lid and the handle on top of it will be done on the jam chuck. Well, while looking at the monitor, I noticed that you can't see a thing of what I'm doing on the outside. So for the rest of this turning, I will move the camera to the overhead view so that you can see what I'm doing from the top. And here we are for the next step in this exciting adventure. I'm going to make the jam chuck. I've sanded the lid on the inside, put some shellac on it. It's looking quite okay for me. So now I'll put it on the jam chuck and finish the outside. Close already. Very close. That's a good fit. I'm bringing up the tailstock for extra safety. Like it is now, this piece has nowhere to go, so it has to stay on the lathe. Let's see what happens. So, how about that? I see that I urgently need to switch batteries. So, yeah, I'll do that. I'll sand a bit, put some sanding sealer on it, and I'll bring you back when I'm finishing up. Battery has been swapped. I've done a light sanding, and I've discussed the details of the shape with the boss lady. I'm going to do a little bit more thinning on the nub, and then I'll shorten it. Ah. Well guys, that's what happened when you sand and then continue cutting. I was running the thing in reverse and I couldn't get a cut. Much better. I'm going very careful here because this is obviously a very sensitive piece of the work. I'm also going to add another burn line here in the neck of the handle. Like so. The lid has now been sanded up to 240 grit, and instead of using higher grits, I'm going to polish it with some wood shavings. I just want to let you see how well that works. This is this is walnut rough shavings. And after sanding, I covered the lid with shellac. Just plain shellac dissolved in denatured alcohol. It's warm to the touch now, but I think you can already notice the difference in shine. But anyway, since we did the box or the pot also with Yorkshire grit, I'm going to put it on here as well, and that will be the final stage. Looking at it like this, I do think it becomes a bit shinier than it was, but actually using the other method a bit more extensively could yield virtually the same result, meaning I could do without Yorkshire grit. Not sure if I want that, because I like the product, even though they are not sponsoring me. And the shellac I bought from China, denatured alcohol from the store. It doesn't all have to be that expensive. Oh yeah. It's definitely a bit more shinier still, but like I say, with a little bit more time and attention, you can probably achieve the same results without Yorkshire grit. Let me see if I can get this off. Yeah, I was already expecting that might be a bit of a challenge. Okay. The inside is not so shiny, but that's why it's the inside. Nice loose fit, not so bad. So, the repurposing of this object has now been completed. It'll be a pillbox in the future. Thanks for watching.